Lighting in video is one of the most important elements, but it's common to see videographers and filmmakers making this one mistake time and time again, meaning they end up with a harsh, unflattering look to their footage. So often you'll see someone preparing to film an interview, they set up a nice light source with a softbox, add diffusion, and then place it halfway across the room from their talent. Please stop doing this. The further your light source is from your talent, the less light will be hitting them, and the harsher that light will be, casting deeper shadows on their face and creating an unflattering look. Now, I'm not judging. I made this mistake when I first started freelancing, and I was frustrated wondering why my lighting wasn't looking more professional. So, if you remember nothing else about lighting, remember these 2 rules. Number 1, make sure your light source is as large as possible, and number 2, place your light source as close as possible to your subject. First, let's look at how distance affects the quality of light. In this example, I have my light and softbox placed a good distance from the subject, and you can see how the lighting looks quite harsh, with deep shadows that highlight my lovely wrinkles and the bags under my eyes. Now, let's place the light as close as possible to the subject, while still keeping the edges of the softbox just out of shot. See how those shadows have been softened, creating a more pleasant look with less contrast. So you can see how simply moving a light closer to your subject can really improve your image and help you achieve a more flattering result. Next, let's see how the size of a source affects the quality of light. In this example, I'm using a small aperture f7 as my key light, but you can use any cheap LED source you have available. I followed the first rule and placed my light as close as possible to the subject, but as you can see, I'm not achieving a flattering result. This is because a small light source typically creates hard light and needs to be modified to make it act like a bigger, softer source. To do this, we'll take a piece of diffusion fabric and place it in front of the light. When you do this, make sure the light is placed far enough away from the diffusion so that it fills to the edges of the fabric. The area of diffusion you fill becomes your new light source, and you can follow the first step we discussed and place your light as close as possible to your subject. As you can see, just increasing the size of a light source makes a huge difference to the quality of light hitting the subject. If you'd like to go into more detail and learn about the theory behind the techniques we've discussed today, look up the inverse square rule. And if you'd like to see me break down this setup, click up here. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.